Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Galinsky. I run customer success at Weka. So Weka built a data platform for AI. Weka was founded in 2013, and I had really great conversations with a lot of people, a lot of delegates last night who have been doing storage for as long as I have. And I want you to think about the number of times over the last 30-something years that you have thought to yourself, man, would somebody just rewrite the IO stack, please? Like, how long do we have to spend time debugging SCSI commands and looking at CDBs and all this sort of stuff? And how long are we going to, watch the IO stack, looking for where latency is building up and all that sort of stuff? Well, Weka was founded by three guys who were deeply entrenched in storage. You would probably recognize one of their other storage products, XIV. This is exactly what they did. They took this challenge that all the rest of us thought, yeah, would love to do that. There's no way, it's super hard. And even if we did do this, who would believe us, right? Well, these three guys founded Weka to do just that. And what we have here on the slide, which I'm obviously not reading, is a list of things that is going to be available for you to look at. And you can look it all up and things like that. But maybe the most important takeaway here is that there is a lot of stuff that we do every day that we do just because it's always been done that way. And IO is one of those things. And sometimes it just takes somebody who is willing to look at this in a different way, take the challenge and rewrite the thing. So that is what Weka has done. Personally, for me, it is thrilling to be at a company that is a software-only storage platform, a software-only data platform, because as software-only, it gives us tremendous flexibility, right? And we don't have to deal with the slings and arrows of outrageous hardware. We're here to talk about AI, and we're going to talk about it in terms of what often happens at the end of a very slow burn revolution, right? The things that we think were like paradigm shifts that happened from one day to the next and result in a change in the way everybody is doing things, kind of like we see with AI today, are actually the result of years and years and years of effort and tiny little experiments and changes. But when you reach an inflection point, and we're going to talk about what's pushing this in a little bit, but when you reach an inflection point, it looks a lot like what we see in the fossil record as the Cambrian explosion, right? All of a sudden you go from like a sparse field of a few things that are all essentially doing things the same way to a lot of different things doing things in a lot of different ways. That is a very healthy thing, right? You get competition, you get variation, you get resiliency to all sorts of things that you can't predict. So we are referring to the period today as the AI version of the Cambrian explosion. I can't go on without calling out to those of you who would recognize that we are no longer in the Cambrian period, so it can't be a Cambrian explosion. This would be the Holocene explosion. Yes, we know that, but everybody recognizes Cambrian, and so we're just going to stick with that.
Didn't the dinosaurs die out of some sort of cataclysmic event? Or something?
Oh, yeah. See, the dinosaurs is the old stack. Right, that's exactly right. Yeah, and I think that was a Pleistocene event, but I'm not sure. So please write in and correct me wherever I'm wrong, because I'm not actually a paleontologist. I just play one here on this Zoom. So with this, right, with this explosion of solutions to business problems being enabled by what we're calling artificial intelligence and machine learning, we have some big problems. And the big problems are that the enterprises that were set up with environments that were tailored for specific IO profiles are now having to deal with a lot of different IO profiles. When you combine that with the fact that much of the development of what we are calling like the AI pipeline was done in high performance computing environments, which are set up very, very differently than the enterprise, we've got challenges, right? Challenges as commercial enterprise customers in trying to optimize the efficiency of our environments to deal with solving these problems in such a way that we aren't wasting a lot of time and money. So here are, I'm not going to read this, but I think that you will all identify with, you know, the various verticals, the various solution spaces, and how they've traditionally set up their environments to do what they need to do, and how they now need to adapt those environments to do something that looks very different. These things are very different because in going from the beginning to the end of this problem, and you're going to hear a lot more about this in the later sessions, we've got a huge disparity in what the I/O looks like what the I/O looks like, what the performance requirements look like for ingestion, for pre-processing, for processing, for whatever the opposite of ingestion is. All I can think of are bad words that I don't want to use. All of that stuff looks very different. And it has all been pushed by the devices that have broken Moore's law. So forever, we were dealing with complex instruction set architectures that we thought we were just going to have to replicate and replicate and replicate, and use more and more of these CISC cores stacked on top of each other in order to get the performance and throughput that we need. Those are like gas giants. Those gas giants have now been condensed, right? Increasing the density of small cores into GPUs. And GPUs bust right through Moore's law, allows us to do the kinds of computations that we never thought we were going to be able to do in order to achieve solutions using what we call artificial intelligence and neural nets in the way that we have always done them. So game changing, and this is the big push. The big push technically. The big push from a business sense is that no one can afford not to do this, right? No matter what space you're in, all of your competitors are trying to gain additional intelligence about whatever it is that their core competency is by employing these algorithms, by employing these methodologies. So you have to do it. You have no choice. And therefore, you are forced into this conundrum of trying to adapt your environment to something that it was not built for.